The Tur in Hilchos HaMoed Tav Kuf Lamed Tes deals with business on HaMoed. Chol Sachora Asura. It starts by saying all types of business is prohibited. Afilu kolshu, even any small amount. Bein liknos, bein למכור. It doesn't matter whether you're buying or selling. Ve'afilu סחורה הנמכרת לפני המועד, אסור לתבוע דמיה במועד. Even something that you sold before HaMoed, you're not allowed to ask for the payment on HaMoed. Elim ken הלוקח adam שאינו מצוי במקו המוכר. ונזדמן לו בכל, unless the purchaser is someone that's not generally found in the same area as the seller, and he just happens to be over HaMoed. As hu mutar dehave kadvar האבד. Then it's permitted because it's like something that would be lost. If you don't collect now, who knows when you're going to collect? He'll pay you sometime, but who knows when. Vim yeshlo, we're talking about a Jew here. If you're collecting from non-Jews, it's a different issue, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
I'm assuming also if you need the money to pay your own bills during
well, there's one of the categories of people that we've come across a couple times is Pol she'eino ma la'echol, a worker who doesn't have what to eat. It could be more than that, but he doesn't have to be that poor. But that he's always allowed to buy. He's allowed to do anything he needs, and we're allowed to hire him. I can be a wealthy person. This carpenter doesn't have what to eat. I can hire him to do carpentry and Chol.
So I can pay him.
So I can pay him. So he has, he has what he needs. So that's always true. But this is think of the medieval fairs.
Yes.
That were 2 times a year in a city or 1 time a year in a city, and it's going to be 5 months, 4 months before the guy's back. You might want your money before that.
Yep.
All right. Ve'im yesh lo sxora ve'im lo yimkרנו ata yafsid min הקרן מותר למכור. If I have merchandise, and if I don't sell it now, the price I will get is less than I paid for it, so I'm actually going to suffer a loss of the capital I put into it. I'm allowed to sell it. Aval im lo yafsid min הקרן. But if I won't lose money from the capital, even though I won't make as much money, let's say I paid $60 an item, and right now I can sell it for $120, and after the end, if I can sell it for $100, right?
Yeah.
I'm still going to make money. So I have to wait until after the Yom Tov. I'm not allowed to sell it now.
That's not considered a loss.
She'im yimkרנו ata yarviach yoter. If I sold it now, I'll make more. She'im yimkרנו אחר כך. Then if I sell it after the Yom Tov, like I just said, אסור למכור. I'm not allowed to sell it.
So when they're talking about a loss, they're talking about a mamash loss.
Yeah. If after Yom Tov, I'll only be able to sell this $60 per item thing for $50.
Now you're talking.
Now you're talking a loss. Even $59, you're talking a loss. That the Chazal said you don't have to do. Vim ein lo ma yelchol. If I don't have anything to eat, or afilu yesh lo ela she'im yimkרנו ata yelo maos berevach v'yotzi yoser lismoach yom tov mutar. Or I don't have a lot. I have what I need, but not a lot. And if I can sell this stuff, I will have profit and I will spend more money on simchas yantif. It's mutar. No, it has to be that he can spend more money on simchas yantif. There is mutar למכור. I'm sorry, I forgot the last word. It's on the next page. It's permitted to sell it. The Beis Yosef brings from various Rishonim, and they all agree on this. If he's a wealthy person, Bill Gates, let's say Bill Gates is Jewish, right? And he goes, if I sell this now, I'll buy a better cut of steak for my Yantif barbecue, right?
Nobody's buying that.
No, that doesn't work. He's got plenty of money. If he wants the better steak, he can buy the better steak, right? But even he, if he's going to suffer a loss, is allowed to sell it to make the profit, right? I mean, but if he's going to you're not allowed to use it as a harama, as a trick, to say, I'll do this and then I'll spend more on yantif. No. If you could spend more on yantif anyway,
then you'll spend more on yantif.
Right. Or don't spend more on yantif and don't play games and do business either.
Correct.
וכן אם באו שערוס והביאו סחוros שאינן מצויות כלל אחר המועד. We don't have the situation, the reality that they used to have. A boat comes, a shayera in modern Hebrew is a convoy. It's a trade caravan, right? And they have merchandise that will not be around at all after Yantif. And by the time Yantif's over, they're gone. They're going to be here for 2 or 3 days, and that's it.
Correct. There's a window to go buy this
Right.
stuff and zero.
Or yiknehu mimenu, or they will buy stuff that I have. I have stuff that I export, but I have to have a caravan to sell it to. V'kenim eno מצוי שיבואו שיירוס כאלו לקנות מהם ולמכור להם. And there aren't regular convoys through here. By the way, a lot of this depends on where you are. Berdichev, interestingly enough, is a very interesting city because before the Russian railroads were built, it was a market town with roads running both north, south, and east, west that ran through it. And so there was always merchandise available in Berdichev of every conceivable thing because there were constant trades.
Flow of traffic.
Right. So this halacha didn't apply there, right? Because you can always get it. However, there are places where it's seasonal. The convoy comes through twice a year.
I'm thinking
Right.
of spice caravans that travel through Israel. They used to travel through Israel.
Those could be too, yes.
If the caravan's coming through, if you don't deal with the caravan now, you don't know when the next caravan's coming.
Right. Either to buy from them or to sell to them.
Correct.
Ve'arambam zal kasav davka limkor lahem mutar. The Rambam says you can sell to them, no problem. Kol davar, anything. Aval liknos mehem or konei hadavar lehishtaker aser. But to purchase from them or to buy something so I can make a profit with it is aser. Afal pi she'revach nikar shekona bezol me'ashayra. Even though the profit will be very recognizable because I can buy this product much, much cheaper when the caravan is in town. Aval im tzarech hadavar letzorko, if he needs it for himself, right? You know, we often talk about spices. Cinnamon. My wife is out of cinnamon, and she wants cinnamon for her Yantif cakes, and the caravan, or Shabbos, she uses it every Shabbos in her, right? Very common. I can buy a year's supply until the next caravan comes. V'dato liknoso, and he always planned on buying it. ונזדמן lo ata mi shemocher bezol, and right now he can get it very cheaply. V'adavar yedua shelo yizdamin lo acher HaMoed shayra kazu, and after Yantif is over, I'm not going to have such a caravan with this price.
Correct.
Davar ha'avedu, this is a matter of loss. Umutter, and it's mutter. And my father, my lord, the Rosh, did not distinguish, meaning he didn't care whether you're buying or selling. Either way, it was
mutter.
allowed. Right.
I'm trying to understand the Asur part of it.
The Ramban
because
is
there's a
saying,
real loss here.
no, the Ramban is saying, to sell what I already have is a loss to my capital, right? To purchase something that I can sell in the future to profit, that's not something that I have right now. The Chachamim allowed you to prevent a loss. A loss is my capital is going to be used up. The Ramban says he's not using up his capital.
But if a caravan comes through once or twice a year,
Yeah.
and I've been planning for 6 months or 7 months or eight months to be able to buy X, Y, and Z from that caravan when it comes through, and it happens to come through on HaMoed.
I
I've already
understand.
got the money aside.
You're saying the Rosh is Sfara.
Correct.
That's
I
correct.
understand. That's
The
I
Ramban-
understand the Rosh. I don't understand the Ramban.
The Ramban says the Chazal mattered a loss. A loss is I own something that I will sell for less than I can sell right now.
But if I don't have my product to be put into my store,
The-
I'm out of business.
No, there's less profit, or you buy something else. I mean, first of all, people did not. I mean, there was a difference. There was no such thing as someone who only traded in one item. People traded in whatever they could get their hands on. So,
But if I'm a spice trader and my spice caravan's coming through this Wednesday.
There are all sorts of different types of spices. I'm just saying there was, first of all, I don't even think anyone was that limited. From the response that I read from the Middle Ages, businessmen did business together, and the contract is, you're going to buy there. They don't say you're buying X, Y, and Z. When two people are getting together, one's doing the work, traveling from, say, France to Morocco, right?
From the Far East, yeah.
They don't know what he's going to find in Morocco that's going to be cheaper than what's going to be here, right? Whatever the person with the capital is saying, all right, we're buying this here that we know we can sell there, right?
When we're looking for a spread, what do you see as a spread?
Right.
What do you think is having a real spread?
Right. And when you get there, you're going to have to figure out what it is you can buy. Right, they never tried to define what it was. They sometimes get into arguments. You shouldn't have bought this. This obviously wasn't going to sell here. And the guy says, I thought this would sell. But I'm just saying, it doesn't seem to me, from what I've read, that they ever had this concept. Today we're in a completely different world where everything works differently.
Yeah.
But to go out and find something, you can't do. What is this like? Go nahar shahatzif dagim al svaso, asur le'ovsfam kedei lekov sham. A river that overflowed its banks and then it went back in. The river banks will have fish on them. I'm not allowed to go and gather them so that I can pickle them to preserve them, right?
I'm allowed to pick up that which I need for Chag.
If it's early enough in HaMoed that I can pickle them and I can eat them by the last day of Yom Tov, that would be mutar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mi shemalve lechavero al chafetz al tanai she'im lo yifra lo lesov shmoni yamim sheyeh kanui lo. I loan someone money on collateral, and the condition is if he doesn't pay me within 8 days, I get the collateral. Yesh matirin. There are those people who allow it. Shari ikar hakniya hi la'achar HaMoed, because when is the kinyan going to be made? When he doesn't pay me back on the 8th day. Right? So the kinyan is after Yom Tov is over. The Eino nira lahatir. But it doesn't appear correct to be matir this. She'im kan mutter kol maso mata shehem yarimu lasosken. Because people can always make funny deals to make it look like this is allowed. All right. Avodas galilim shapara li Yisrael yain b'chovo mutter lekablo mimenu. A non-Jew that's coming to pay the Jew and he's giving him wine, it's mutar to accept it from him because it's like you're saving money from him. Done. The idea, this is, by the way, it doesn't pay what? There are two halachas that he's staying at one time here. One is that all year round, even though his wine I'm not allowed to drink it, I'm allowed to receive it as and payment for a debt from him, because otherwise he may refuse to pay me at all. He can go to their courts, which not today. We're talking about
we're not fair and slightly.
We're not fair. You didn't want to accept payment, so he doesn't have to pay you. So you can take it and you can sell it to non-Jews for them to drink. The other thing is that I'm always allowed to accept a non-Jew paying me on the Chol HaMoed, because who knows whether he's going to pay games. And there's a long Chuvas Rashi on this with someone that tried to cheat Rashi and ended up taking an oath on a Christian relic, and Rashi was very upset with the whole parsha. I need you can buy wine in their days once a year at the harvest, so you'd have what to drink all year round. And if after Yantev, you're not going to be able to get the quality of stuff you have now. The harvest time for grapes was very short. Davar ha'avedu. This is something that's going to be lost. Mutar, and it's mutar. Mutar liknos v'letaken chavios l'zalfan, and I'm allowed to buy the barrels and to seal them. U'bavad shelo yishkavin melachto moed, as long as I didn't intend to do this on Yantiv. Meaning, if the wine was available before Yantiv, I had to do it all before Yantiv. I couldn't wait until Chol HaMoed to do it. But if the week of harvest is this week, then he didn't really have any choice in the matter. It's not up to him. But more than he needs to drink, he's not allowed to buy. Meaning, I could buy a lot now, all right? And then I'll have not only what I'm going to drink in the coming year, right? But I will also be able to, use it for other things as well, like selling it. Or there used to be in Eastern Europe, and it's been preserved in some shols, that people would buy the right on Simchas Torah to be able to donate all the wine for Kiddush and Havdalah in the shul for the whole year. You would buy the right to be able to give the money. Very interesting thing. Sfardim never had such an idea that you buy mitzvahs in classic times. Now there's an idea of buying certain things. But it was really an Ashkenazi thing, very, very.
Really?
Yeah. Mochrei peros, kasus, v'kelim, l'tzorech HaMoed. People that are selling fruit, vegetables, yantif clothing, other things that are needed on yantif. For instance, if you're selling the flags that the kids wave on Simchas Torah. Mutar and B'tzina, you're allowed to do it B'tzina. Kagon, im chanusu p'suach l'rishus rabim poseach chetzio. If you have two doors, you open one of them, or you have one door, you partially open it if your store opens to Baluk Lane. Uminiach chetzio na'ol, and you leave the other half closed. Vim haya p'suach l'satio, if it's open to an alley or a side street, poseach kadarko, then you can open in the normal way, because not so many people are passing by and will see it. Vim hu mocher yerek, v'kol davar she'eno miskayim, poseach u'mocher kadarko. If you're selling vegetables, things that have no shelf life at all, if the person's buying it, he's eating it on Chol HaMoed or Yantiv. That's it. There's no possibility. He's allowed to open a store and sell in the normal way. The Erev Yantiv ha'achron mochrim kadarkan. Before this is machlokas, whether it's only the last day of Sukkot because Shmini Atzeres is Chag b'fnei atzmo, it's its own yantif, not actually part of Sukkot, or it's also talking about the last day of Pesach. The store is open normally, and you hang up all sorts of decorations, fruit in the marketplace, mishum koved yantiv achron, because of the koved of the last day of Chag. Yesher mutzarech l'zaher be'erev yantiv achron shelo lachin liyom sheni shel yom tov, ele al yedei harama sheyochel mimenu miyat.